Live from the 24-hour tracking center, this is a winter weather alert.
Good morning. You're waking up to an incredibly cold and snowy morning.
But that's not all, because we are about to add wind to the mix. Good morning, everyone. I'm Emily Leonard.
And I'm Brett Thomas.
We have crews spread out across West Michigan, and as always, we have team weather coverage of this winter storm. And that's where we want to start things off this morning.
Yeah, Matt Kirkwood is braving the conditions for us right now, but let's start things off in the tracking center with Terry DeBoer. Hi, Terry.
Right now, temperatures are going to continue to drop here all day today into tonight and tomorrow. So the core of the coldest air has yet to pivot into West Michigan. We're dealing with two parts of this storm system. The cold is one part. The secondary part is a continuation of and now the expansion of the lake effect snow. In fact, we've got a winter storm warning and a wind chill warning in effect. I'm going to talk more about the snow here as we move through the next several hours. You can see here this winter storm warning has now been extended through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And here's the reason why. We've had snowfall rates within this deep dark blue shade here in Ottawa County as much as 1 to 2 inches per hour during the overnight period. And you can see here on Storm Track Live Radar this band of snow here from Nunavut to Coopersville, Allendale, North Blendon, also down toward the Jenison area, Byron Center, Hudsonville, also into Moline and Wayland and Hastings and Middleville. And the snow band for now is even extending all the way east into downtown Battle Creek. But as those winds become a little more westerly today, not only are they going to be transporting in that colder air, but as the winds increase, we are talking about blowing and drifting snow and that snow band coming inland. So a widespread 1 to 4 inches of additional snow today. But if you get underneath one of those heavy snow bands, we'll be looking at significant snow totals, maybe as much as 1 to 2 inches per hour. So again, the cold air and the wind, a secondary part, and really will become the overwhelming part of this storm system. We've sent meteorologist Matt Kirkwood outside to talk more about exactly how cold we are going to get. Matt.
Terry, you mentioned two facets of the storm system. The one thing that's going to link the snow and the cold is the wind. The wind, of course, is going to give us a lot of blowing and drifting and really affect those those roads north-south oriented with a lot of cross drifting. It is also going to affect our temperatures, a westerly wind, and check out some of these readings. First, I want to show you we are in a wind chill warning until 7 o'clock on Tuesday. So that includes today, obviously tonight, right on through Tuesday. Here's some of those cold temperatures. It's really not that bad yet here in Grand Rapids in West Michigan, but this is what we're looking at upstream with a strong westerly wind. Look how cold it is in Wisconsin, also in the Minneapolis area. Currently minus 22 in the Minneapolis area. All this air is going to move in our direction with a strong polar vortex that's going to sweep right across the Great Lakes. The wind is going to pick up. Check out some of these wind chills. Here, we're not quite yet below zero. We're getting there. We're at 1 above in Grand Rapids, but look at Milwaukee, minus 36 degrees, minus 44 in Minneapolis, and minus 55 in Duluth. Fortunately, we won't be that cold as far as wind chills, but our wind chills certainly will go down. Noon today, this is what it looks like as our temperatures fall. We'll be around 1 to 5 degrees, actual temperature above zero, with a wind chill by that time, right around lunchtime, of minus 15 or 15 below zero. At 6 o'clock, colder yet. We'll have actual temperatures around 0 to as cold as minus 5. And then wind chills around 20 to 25 below zero. And there's no less than 24 states that, last I checked, are in a wind chill advisory or warning throughout the United States, affecting 115 million people. Obviously, later in 8-day forecast, temperatures can only go up, and that's what happens far enough up that we may even see rain in the forecast for this upcoming weekend. Back to you.
Thank you, Matt. A live look at the lakeshore this morning. You can't see it on the sky cam, but the snow is coming down in Holland right now. That's where we find 24-hour News 8's Mark Thompson live this morning. Mark, what are you seeing?
Well, good morning, Emily. We are getting absolutely hammered out here along the lakeshore. I'm standing on Business 96, just near 31 here in Holland, and things have gotten progressively worse since we first stepped out the door around 3:30 this morning. What we're seeing out here is just relentless snow, blinding snow being driven by the wind. And speaking of driving, the roads right now, there's about 5 inches of snow on the ground. The roads are passable. People are moving along out here, but the problem is there's so much wind and so much snow that it's going to cause some whiteout conditions wherever you are. This is definitely not the time to be out here. Mainly we're seeing plow trucks out here right now and some people who are doing some local plow work in a lot of the strip malls and different areas around here as well. As far as how it feels out here, temperatures aren't too bad right now, but I can feel that it's been getting colder all morning long. So I've got several layers on this morning, and you can just take the advice that everyone's been saying today. This is definitely not the time to really be out here for any reason unless you absolutely have to. We're going to keep an eye on things here this morning, and we'll let you know how things progress throughout the day. Reporting live in Holland, Mark Thompson, 24-Hour News 8.
Let's move east a little bit here. 24-Hour News 8's Leon Hendricks is driving towards Hudsonville right now. So let's check in with him. What are you seeing out there so far, Leon?
Brett, good morning. Let me tell you what a difference a few miles makes. We were in downtown Grand Rapids a short time ago. Now we are in the Hudsonville area, and you can see we're coming down a side street here, and you can see the snow really whipping up pretty good. And just a few minutes ago when we were in downtown Grand Rapids for our 4:30 live shot, there was hardly any snow. So I think we're in the middle of one of these snow bands, and now Ottawa County here has done a good job of keeping the main roads clean. But what you're seeing is the issue here on the side roads. You can see that doesn't look like a lot of work has been done here, especially for folks that have been unfortunate enough to park on the side of these roads. You can see that really kind of snowed in, but the snow definitely kicking up in this area. You can see it's really slippery out as well, so even when they do get the ice or the salt out here, you know, it's not going to work very well because of just how cold it is. And we can see that this snow, you know, is blowing sideways because of the wind out here. So we're going to get situated out here and get out and get you a closer look here at 5:30. But definitely as we head west from Grand Rapids, the conditions certainly getting worse. Brett and Emily.
All right, and roads all across West Michigan in bad shape this morning, including highways that are plowed, but snow-packed and very icy. You're looking at video right now of a slide-off. It's coming up on the left-hand side where you see the flashing lights there. It happened in Wyoming about 3:30 this morning. There's a van that went into the ditch there on 196. No word of any injuries involved here.
Plows have been working around the clock to get things cleaned up, but there's a lot of ground to cover. So workers are asking you to be patient if your street hasn't been cleared. If you live in Calhoun County, you can go to myroads.com to take a look at where all of the plows are. You can search by township and you can keep tabs of what neighborhoods they're working on. Right now, we want to send things out to Amanda Jarrett, who's been on the roads in Kent County. She's headed south right now. Amanda, how are you? Where are you and how do things look?
Emily, we're in Allegan County right now, approaching Plainwell here on US 131 southbound, and we've seen conditions just change dramatically since we last talked to you about 4:30. Once we crossed into Allegan County from Kent County, we encountered blowing, drifting snow, very low visibility. It's better now. This is the best we've seen in probably about 20 minutes. What you're seeing right now live from inside of our car here. Again, I'm in the passenger seat, and our photographer, Avi, is driving very slowly, might I add. We're going about 40 miles per hour right now. At many times, we're going as low as 35 miles per hour. Again, when those semis pass you, it's almost whiteout conditions, really. So you need to take your time on these roads. And again, this is the best we've seen in probably about 20 minutes. So keep that in mind. Allegan County, even US 131, kind of a mess this morning in some places. And those wind gusts you heard Matt talking about, you heard Leon talking about that, Mark as well. That's what we're seeing as well. It's hard to keep the car on the road at some points when those gusts come across and you're here on the highway. So again, just depends where you are, and it's changing minute by minute. As we approach Kalamazoo County here, we're expecting conditions maybe to change again. But again, Allegan County, we know they've had several slide-offs overnight. Main roads okay. Side roads a mess, as we're seeing all throughout West Michigan. But again, when you're driving on the highway, driving any distance, you're going to see several different conditions. You're going to encounter a lot of different situations. So keep that in mind. Slicking spots, blowing, drifting snow, and take your time. You're going to be going very slow this morning if you're moving on these highways. Live in Allegan County, Amanda Jarrett, 24-Hour News 8.
After being stranded on the tracks for some 9 hours, passengers on board Amtrak train 353 have finally arrived in Chicago. Now, we spoke with one of the stranded passengers last night. She tells us their train stopped about 45 minutes outside of Niles. She tried to explain the reason to us the way it was explained to her and the other passengers there. There was apparently a problem with a pipe that affects the brakes. When they tried to fix it, crews learned that there was ice in some of the engines and it couldn't be fixed.
There's a train coming also from Detroit going to Chicago, and the plan now is for it to pull alongside us on the next to us track and then get in front of us headed towards Chicago, and then we tag on the back of it because its engines are working. So we will just become one train essentially.
Well, according to King, they left the Detroit area yesterday morning at 11:20. They arrived at Union Station at 2:20 this morning.
From the roads and the tracks to the sky now, if you were planning to fly today, chances are you're going to run into some major problems. Here's a look at the real-time flight information at the Ford Airport right now. There are nearly 3 dozen cancellations or delays so far this morning. You can find a link to the airport's website online now at woodtv.com.
Right now we have more than 600 closings in our system. Those are all scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You can also find them online at woodtv.com. But we want to take a second here to take a look at some of the major closings going on. For example, Grand Rapids, Battle Creek, and Kalamazoo Public School Systems, all of them are closed today. As for colleges, WMU, Grand Valley, GRCC, and Davenport University are all closed. No classes there. Well, 24 Hour News 8 is dedicated to making sure that you stay safe during this winter storm, and to do that, we are extending our daybreak coverage this morning. From 7 until 9 o'clock this morning, we'll have a special 2-hour edition of Daybreak on WOTV4. We'll have the very latest on current conditions from Terry and Matt, as well as live reports from all our crews in the field. Again, it's all happening right after daybreak over on WOTV.
5:11 right now. The Arctic blast has the governor urging everyone to stay inside today.
We had a chance to talk with him last night. You'll hear how the state is responding to this wicked storm.
Here's a look at some more pictures that you're sending us through Report It. We love to see your pictures, especially during weather events like this. Report it at woodtv.com, a really easy way to get in touch with us.
As we go to break, a live look outside right now at one of our MDOT cams here. Roads are snow-packed, kind of difficult to get around, especially if you're trying to get out of your neighborhood. That'll be the first problem you experience as you head out today.